Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by, you like the channel and the video, please subscribe and put on your notification bell so that you will be able to know when I upload a new video. In this channel, I bring to you information across the globe, what is happening in the world, especially Nigeria. So after watching the video, your opinion, your contribution is highly needed. Do it constructively in the comment section as we are going to watch this video together. Yes, I'm watching it together with you. Then later, we'll come to the comment section to discuss about it. Remain blessed as we watch.
We are going to listen to Bruce Fein and ask some questions so that we'll all be carried along in what is going on the release of Nnamdi Kanu and some of other controversial issues like the Tukuno aircraft, military jet or fighter jet that the Nigeria government has purchased from the United States. The status of that particular issue and case, we are going to hear the latest update today and how that thing is being handled. And the man who is working tirelessly around the clock to make sure that we are not slaughtered, murdered by the Nigeria state is the man called Bruce Fein. Among other Biafra representatives and attorneys across the globe, we have him here today to talk to us, and we are going to be taking them point by point. In addition to Bruce Fein this evening, join us as we welcome our international attorney, or one of our international attorney, Bruce, in the name of Bruce Fein. For those of you who do not know Bruce Fein has served as a deputy Attorney General of the United States as far back as 80s, when some of you were not born. He has done a lot of things, but I will allow him to make some introduction of himself to the Biafrans and to the lovers of Biafrans around the world. Thank you very much, Bruce Fein. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to speak.
Yes.
Yes. Well, do you want me to give a little bit of background before you?
Yes. Just give us a little bit of background. You know, we don't need you to go into history because we know it's going to be a long one. So just give us a brief history, a brief background, what you've done. Yeah, I know that between 80 to 81 or 81 to something, you were the deputy Attorney General of the United States of America, and you once were nominated to the position. You were nominated to the position of Attorney General and all that. Well, I know those history, but you know, a lot of people don't know about it.
Well, I think my baptism in Washington, D.C., after I had graduated from Harvard Law School and clerked in the federal courts, was impeachment of President Richard Nixon. And I helped in drafting those impeachment articles when I was age 25. So I've always been suspicious of limitless power and the importance of checks and balances to freedom and justice that need to reign everywhere in the world rather than just be geographically limited. I spent many years in the Justice Department, at the Federal Communications Commission, staff director in Congress. I've written books on the American Empire, the Constitution in peril. I've advised up to 40 governments on constitutional transitions, including South Africa, Sudan, South Korea, Hungary. I first became engaged in Nigerian affairs with the presidency that was short-lived of M.K. Abiola, who has served a very brief time before he was overthrown. You may recall his wife was killed. He was poisoned by Sami Abacha. NDER formed at that point. And I've been periodically engaged not only in Nigeria, but in other countries around the world in transitions to bring democratic dispensations from authoritarian regimes. It is an earmark, I think, of our common humanity that we seek to have justice implanted everywhere. And nowhere, I think, in the world is there more brutality that I've seen than in Biafra, encountering Python Dance 2, the Fulani herdsmen. Enugu still looks like a bombed out World War II city. And the need to stand up and obtain justice is never more urgent than now. You always have to be vigilant to protect freedom, because tyranny is at work 24 hours a day. And one of the things that I've learned and from experience as well as history is that in these kinds of efforts, if we don't hang together, we hang separately. The British were able, basically to occupy and conquer Nigeria, Biafra, because of internal internecine warfare and fighting. So we need to understand this quest is not only for ourselves, the living, but those yet to be born. And we have to then subordinate our egos to this common objective and good if we are to succeed. We can't afford to waste resources, money, and time on seeing who's going to be the top dog once we obtain independence. That defeats the purpose of this enterprise.
Thank you very much for that brief introduction. On this note, those of you that are watching from Facebook, those of you following us from Facebook, I think this is cracking or something. Is it cracking? Is it coming from me? Yeah, I think those of you watching from Facebook, you can switch to the Enter Biafra live streaming app to follow this program from there, so we can concentrate and see where the cracking is coming from. Right. On this note, we are going to introduce the woman leader, Madam Bridget Okafor. Madam Bridget, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to Biafras and all lovers of freedom. You are all welcome to this program today. Thank you.
It's coming out clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I believe that there were some issues with the mic, but I think it is better now. So our viewers, what do you think about the mic? Are you hearing my voice?
Hello.
Is the sound okay?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm asking the audience.
Okay, can they talk without you unmuting?
No, yes. Some people, I'm at least reading the comment from them. So,
can you hear me now?
Bruce Fein should be.
Yes.
One moment. One of those things.
Okay, yes, it's okay.
Yeah, the audio is working now. Yeah.
All right, Bruce is still here with us.
Yes,
he's going to appear in few seconds from now. If he's not already is on the screen, but I can't see him here. So I believe the system is refreshing, and is going to be back in few seconds. Sometime. All right. So on this note, without wasting any of your time, we are going to go straight to the point. Mr. Bruce.
Can you hear him, Bridget? I can't hear anything from him.
Oh my God. I can hear him. Can you hear me, Bruce?
I can hear you, Bridget. I can't hear him, though. Should
Okay,
I
so
phase out and come back in again?
yes, can you go?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Once we start. So it's not going to be. Once he come back now, I think we're good to go.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Bruce, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Correct.
All right. All right. Great. Great. Sorry about that. So, you just explained what you've done in the past. Of course, this is just a very brief background. But now, let me ask you straight a question, because a lot of people are worried. We know that the United States of America sold Tucano aircraft to the Niger government. And as a result of that, Biafrans were worried, and you were consulted to take action against the purchase of this Tokuno aircraft. I think that was in June of 2021, and within that period, between June and now, we've read a lot of stories, a lot of headlines, coming from the purchase of that Tokuno aircraft. On July, you filed a lawsuit against the United States Secretary of State. You filed a lawsuit in that same lawsuit against the Secretary of Defense, Austin Lloyd. And so this lawsuit you filed was made public, and everybody, read the news in so many news media, like Sahara Reporters, Washington Post, and all that. Now, we understand that as a result of that lawsuit you filed in August, the U.S. Secretary of State, Blinken, was summoned to court to respond to your lawsuit, and this was because it goes because of the Leahy Amendment that prohibit any country from using U.S. Weapon to kill innocent people and all that. Now we understand that in October, the United States of America, as a result of that lawsuit you filed, the United States of America sent a memo to Nigeria government, reminding them of the terms of the sales of this Tokuno aircraft. So, could you give us a little bit update? What is
Yes.
the
What has happened is that the Nigerians have been told that they are required to limit the use of the Super Tucanos to the northeast to attack genuine terrorists, which are Boko Haram. Although the government itself is infiltrated by Boko Haram, they cannot use the Super Tucano in the southeast. It's to the northeast where the terrorism is. Now, why is that and the United States has the ability to disable the aircraft if they're moved out of the northeast, because it's highly sophisticated technology that's involved. Now, I think this is a tacit recognition by the United States, one, that Biafrans are not terrorist groups, that Ipob is not a terrorist organization, even though the government of Nigeria, without any due process, identified it as a terrorist organization, suggesting that it's an act of terrorism simply to engage in free speech over Radio Biafra. And so it's quite clear that the Nigerians now are limited and prohibited from using the Super Tucano against Biafrans, which was the goal and purpose of the lawsuit in the first instance. But the second thing I think that's important is it's clear that now we've put the Biafran issue on the radar screen of the government, of the Biden administration, of Congress. And that's where we want to take it to the next step, not stop simply at the cessation of weapons being used against Biafrans, but affirmatively supporting an effort to have a independence referendum organized and conducted by the United Nations, as was done in South Sudan, so we can move forward. Sometimes it said good fences make good neighbors. There's been enough of an experience since 1960 to suggest there simply is not a way, given the history of division between the Fulani and the Biafrans, to think that they can coexist under a single sovereign roof. It's best to simply separate, like the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic did in 1993, and try to harmonize the two countries, trade and otherwise. But that's our next step after the Super Tucano victory.
Thank you very much. So just to be, for clarity, are you telling Biafrans the purpose of this lawsuit was one, to compel the Nigerian government not to use the Tucano aircraft against innocent Biafrans, and to this regard, we have succeeded in getting that particular demand that is prohibiting the Nigerian government from using it, not just in other parts of Nigeria, but it is limited to the Northeast. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yes, that's I couldn't say it any better. I'll endorse every word you just spoken.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because, a lot of people don't know this. And believe me, some people will be hearing it for the very first time. So, Biafrans, on this note, I will wish to make it more clearer that the Tucano aircraft will not fly in any airspace in Nigeria other than the Northeast, right?
Correct. It's exactly
Thank you very much, Mr. Now, let us move forward. The issue of Tucano aircraft confirmed and cleared, which means we are moving forward. And this lawsuit was filed in June. Bruce Fein was consulted in June, and the lawsuit was filed in July. And by August, between August and October, the United States government responded with a very strong letter and memo to the Nigerian government, and they will maintain that particular memo and they will not breach it. Now, the issue of extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he was kidnapped in Kenya by the Nigeria government in collaboration with some criminals, and then the Kenya government. I was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria, and he was exposed to all manner of human rights abuses, including torture and all that. Now, this issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu extraordinary rendition was also part of your involvement in this whole Biafra and the IPOB and the Biafra issue. Now, we have been able to record a very huge success just within few months of you coming into the picture. Now, what is going on? Can you tell us? We understand that you have been in Nigeria a couple of times, and you have been in Nigeria. The last time you went to Nigeria, you spent days, hoping to meet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and probably you were doing something on the ground and all that. Can you tell us? We know that in Nigeria, it is not that easy, and you have witnessed this yourself. You have seen how how they handle issues, especially cases of high-profile individual without minding their own law, without respect to international treaties and all that. Can you tell us more update? What is going on at this point? You left Nigeria a few days ago.
Yes. There are two avenues we're pursuing with regard to extraordinary rendition. I also had traveled to Geneva. I made a submission to a group. It's called the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention. It's a subgroup of the United Nations Human Rights Council. I've been in communication with them as recently as the last few days, and seeking an opinion that Nnamdi Kanu is being held illegally in violation of international law, in part because the extraordinary rendition, which flouts what's called the peremptory norm of international law. You can't arbitrarily detain someone without any hearing, which is what was done here, a kidnapping. And I'm hopeful that we can get a ruling before November 10th. I've stressed that to the working group because we'd like to use it in the forthcoming hearing on our motion to dismiss the prosecution against Nnamdi Kanu, which is scheduled for November 10th. And also, we filed in the Nigerian courts a motion to dismiss the entire prosecution, in part because of the extraordinary rendition. There's a principle of law that's universal. A government should not be able to profit from its own crimes and wrongdoing. And that's what Nigeria is attempting to do here. Kidnap and illegally take him to Nigeria and then profit from the illegalities by prosecuting him in a bogus prosecution. Now, I have been, to give you, I think Nigeria, and I don't say this in a boasting way, I don't want to be arrogant, I think they view me as the most feared man in Nigeria. I've sought to, pursuant to a court order, to visit with Nnamdi Kanu to consult on international law on 4 separate occasions, giving advance notice to the DAS where he's being detained in solitary confinement. And on every occasion, when I go through, I check, I give my ID, they put me in a waiting room with the other local lawyers, and they've said, no, they make up excuses each time. Oh, the person who was to escort you is on special assignment. Oh, you're a foreigner. Oh, we can't find the key to the waiting room. So they've blocked me on 4 occasions, even though a court order specifically, the most recent one, issued, stated that Nnamdi is entitled to see any 3 persons that he wishes to, 2 times a week, Monday and Thursdays for 2 hours. So they're clearly quite frightened of what kind of advice and law can be brought to bear on his illegal detention. I think the next step in the equation here is the November 10th hearing, where the extraordinary rendition is one of the issues we're raising to justify dismissing the complaint. It's a 7-count complaint. I will be returning to Nigeria to be present at that hearing.
For always watching Linda's TV show. I will see you again in my next video. Remain blessed. I appreciate each and every one of you, and keep on watching Linda's TV show. If you have not yet subscribed, please, I beg you to do that so that you'll be getting more updates from me. Bye bye.